Hello there! Today I'll be showing you how to make a simple snake game in C++. The objective is to eat as many fruits as possible before you crash into either your own tail or the boundary of the arena. This game is similar to the one found in an old-fashioned Nokia phone. This tutorial is for users of the Mac operating system. Please also note that it is not a beginner tutorial. There's a difference between coding this game on the Mac OS to coding it on Windows, like Nikola Vojtinovic did. That is, Mac does not have the Conio header file that Windows has, and therefore we need to use ncursors. I would like to thank N. Vojtinovic, whose videos we used to create this tutorial. Okay, let's get started. I've already set up the main as well as everything else you need for any piece of code. Whenever you make any simple snake game, or any simple game, you should start off by creating 4 functions: void setup, void draw, void input, and void logic. Also, at the top, you should include the 2 header files we require. These are ncursors and the C standard library. Simply, these tell the computer what to expect when you run the code. Okay, now, under that, create the boolean game over. Now we have the skeleton of our game in place. Scroll down to the main and call up the setup function within it. Now, while it's not game over, it should continue running the draw, input, and logic functions. Draw, input, logic. Okay, so let's start by setting up the variables we will use throughout the game. At the top, we need to create the constant values, the width and height of the arena. We're going to make them 20. We also need the variables for the head position and for the fruit positions. We need a variable for the score too. Right. Now we need to think about the direction of the head of the snake. Let's call this E direction. It can either be still, stop, at the beginning, or it can go left, right, up or down. Under this, type the variable and then type dir to hold the direction of the snake. Now let's go to setup. Type that game over is false at the start. Also state that so far direction is stop. We want the head to be in the middle of the board, therefore say that x is width divided by 2 and y is height divided by 2. And then we say that the fruit must be located randomly on the map. So fruit x is a random number as a mod of the width plus 1. And fruit y is a random number as as a mod of the height plus 1. This makes sure the fruit always spawns within the board. And then the score at the start is, okay, let's just fix that up. Sorry. Okay, the score at the start is 0. Now above all this, include the functions initialize screen, init group, clear, no echo, cbreak, and set the cursor to 0. These make your game look better by clearing the screen other than what is part of the program, disabling line buffering and hiding the cursor, etc, etc. Now you're done with the setup. Go down to Draw now and start by using Clear to clear the window. Now let's make the board. It will appear as a quadrilateral made out of plus signs. You can choose if you want a different sign, but pluses or hashtags look best. Okay, so we want to make the top boundaries. For example, we can make a for loop where for integer I is 0 or I is smaller than the width plus 2, you should increase I. And then at that point, mv print w, a plus sign. Here's one difference. We have to use mv print because we're using n cursors. In the n cursors, e.g. for mv print, you have to list the coordinates, the y value first, and then what you want to print. This is not that weird since in n cursors it goes rows then columns. Okay, make another for loop now. Let's just fix that up. Make another for loop. This one looks the same. Alright, within this there is another for loop, and then there are a couple of if statements. And what the first two if statements do is they create the boundary. The first one goes through the columns and prints a plus sign at all the places where I is 0 or I is 21. And this makes the top and bottom walls of the board. mv print. Okay, then we go else if j, etc. The second one does the same, but for the side walls. Now we need to think about printing the head of the snake. Sorry, let's just finish that off. Okay, the head of the snake. We will make this a capital O. So else if I is equal to y and j is equal to x, i.e. the place where we want the head to go, the middle of the board, print a capital O at this place. Now for printing the fruit, else if I is equal to the fruit y and j is equal to fruit x, print an and will make this the fruit. It kind of looks like a fruit sign. Print an and sign. Okay. to be positioned below the board, and the percentage D is a placeholder of the score. Now you can use the refresh at the end to print or display this all, and then you're done with draw. Let me just rejig a couple of things in the main, and then we can try it out so far. So this is just going to stop the computer getting stuck in the loop, because we've only done a part of the project and we want to try it out. So I'm just going to change a few things. Okay, let's see if it works. Ooh, a few errors. Oh, I think they're careless. Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, it's the, oh, there we go, it's the and. I mean the equal sign. Okay. There, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see if it works now. There we go. That worked.